I'm Ryan at Flowmotion Symposium 2019 in Indiana, in Bloomington, Indiana, and we're going to do advanced 1.5 variations. So first we identified what a 1.5 is and how most people do them. For example, we're in wheel plane here. This is the most common in 1.5. We have a heads together relationship, and we have this happening on one side. It's also really easy to carry it to the other. So, the first variation, which is kind of awkward and unnecessary, but highlights what we're going over in this class, is instead of doing it hands apart, performing the same trick hands together, like this. This isn't aesthetically pleasing. I like it. It's weird and wonky. It's just a good example. So that's where we started to then tie the 1.5 to our various fundamentals. We're going to start with weaves, isolations, and stalls. So a 1.5 free beat looks like this. A 1.5 kind of with a free beat put inside of it. And I really stress doing these patterns in wall plane so that you can practice doing it on each side. So we're going to do our free beat on one side, free beat on the other, and take that free beat to carry it across, and do it again on the other side. So you can actually do a 1.5 fountain, which I have not perfected. I just kind of had it highlighted to me by a friend of mine. So 1.5 weave, 1.5 weave, 1.5 weave. Very imperfect. I'll clean that up. But the next variation will be a 5-beat weave variation. So 5-beat, stall, 1.5, 5-beat, 1.5, 5-beat, 1.5. Next we talked about stalls. So I think the easiest stall variation on the 1.5 is right here. Anytime you come out of it, you can go right back into this. You can go right back into all the different variations we talked about. And again, just getting this stall here. That said, the isolation, I kind of accidentally just did it. The isolation variation really feels a lot like the 3-beat variation. And again, I'm going to take it and practice it on both sides, in both directions. And because this puts us in this weird position behind us right here, we're moving into sort of not really specific trick variations as much as easy ways out of the 1.5. So we're identifying this space right here. And so a really way out of the 1.5 from this space is to pin your hands to your chest and do this head trace here. You can go right back into 1.5s. You can also add a pirouette. And you can just take this into wherever else you're familiar with going here. So now another variation that we talked about was 1.5s being done with a hand-head relationship or an anti-bridge relationship. You can practice these without doing any spinning by just gripping one head, setting up this, and stepping through it. Easy to switch, step, switch, step. But without actually gripping it, one of the easiest ways to get into this is to do your archer weave. Pay special attention to this trace because you want to do this trace still. Drop the other hand down and do the 1.5 there. Hand to head, I call this an anti-bridge 1.5. And you can practice this on both sides, in both directions. Bad, it's all wrong. I didn't talk about this in this class. From a crosser, you take your bottom hand, drop it behind you, and now it's on top. And probably the hardest 1.5 variation that I know is right here. Can't really explain it too well, but All right, thanks for coming to class or whatever.